Emily Bennett, 26, worked the front counter at Grind & Co., a trendy cafe in central London known for its latte art and Instagrammable pastries. She was efficient, professional, and always on time, but not particularly perky. She greeted every customer politely, kept the queue moving, and never messed up an order. But according to her manager, she didn't smile enough. One Friday evening, after her shift, Emily was pulled aside. "You're doing the job, but it's your attitude," her supervisor said. "You're too serious." "I greet every customer," she replied calmly. "I'm not rude, I'm just not fake." By Monday, she was called into the back office. On the desk, a formal letter. Termination, poor customer interaction, failure to maintain company atmosphere. "You're letting me go because I'm not smiling constantly?" she asked. The manager folded his arms. "It's about the brand vibe, you just don't fit." Emily walked out, stunned. No fuss, no scene, but her quiet exit would soon trigger a storm. That night, sitting in her tiny flat, Emily typed out a short post on Twitter. "Fired from Grind & Co. today. Not for being late, not for being rude, but because my face wasn't friendly enough." Apparently, being polite isn't enough if you're not constantly smiling. She ended it with, "Women don't owe you a smile." She closed her laptop, expecting a few supportive replies from friends. By morning, the post had gone viral, hundreds of thousands of shares. Thousands of comments from hospitality workers, shop assistants, nurses, people who had all been told the same thing. The hashtag "Let Her Work" started trending across the UK and beyond, and Emily, who'd been labeled too cold, suddenly became the face of a conversation that had been simmering for years. By Tuesday, news outlets had picked up the story. British barista fired for not smiling sparks global outrage. Emily appeared on morning shows and podcasts calmly retelling what happened. Meanwhile, Grind & Co.'s social media pages were flooded with backlash. Reviews tanked. People began canceling their subscriptions and protesting outside locations. The company scrambled to issue a vague statement: "We value all employees and are reviewing internal procedures to ensure fairness." But screenshots of Emily's termination letter told the real story. Other Grind & Co. employees began coming forward. Some described similar experiences, being told to act friendlier or fix your face. Emily didn't call for a boycott. She didn't demand revenge. She simply kept speaking up for people like her, who were tired of pretending their happiness was part of the uniform. A few weeks later, Emily received a private message from the director of a growing ethical coffee chain. "We loved how you handled yourself. We'd be honored to bring you on, not as a barista, but as a staff wellness consultant." Emily accepted. Her new job? Helping reshape how the company trains staff, focusing on genuine service over forced smiles. Soon after, she was featured on the cover of a major lifestyle magazine with the headline, "Emily Bennett Didn't Smile," and sparked a revolution. She received handwritten letters from young workers saying they finally felt heard. One note read, "I cried reading your post. I've always been told I look unpleasant even when I'm doing my job well. Thank you for showing us we're not alone." Emily kept those letters in a small box on her bookshelf, a reminder of how one voice could create space for many. Months later, Emily stood on stage at a workplace equity conference in Manchester. The room was packed, business owners, HR professionals, retail managers, all listening. She adjusted the mic and began, "I never hated smiling. I just hated being told that I had to smile to be good at my job." She paused. The room was silent. When we demand constant cheer from people, especially women, we're not asking for good service. We're asking for emotional labor that goes unpaid and unnoticed. Applause followed. After the event, a CEO approached her. "What would you say to companies that still expect forced friendliness?" Emily replied, "Hire people for their skills. Let them be themselves. The best service comes from people who feel safe being real, not those forced to perform." Today, Emily still works in hospitality, but on her own terms. She travels across the UK, consulting for businesses, hosting workshops, and reminding employers of a simple truth. People don't owe you a performance, especially not at minimum wage. They fired her for not smiling. And in doing so, they gave her the platform that changed everything.